Come through the sky, Christopher Daniels, Frankie Zay, collectively known as SoCal Uncensored or
SCU! This is Catch, Hook, and Shoot, the worst podcast I've ever been on. Word.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to a special edition of Catch, Hook, and Shoot. My name's Tom. I am your host. Today is Friday, December the 10th, 2021, and today's show is all about Warrior Wrestling 17 coming up on Sunday, December 12th. Got a interview with Warrior Wrestling CEO Steve Tortorello, breaking down the entire card. We've also got preview and predictions from our very own Charlie G on a special edition of the Indie Cut. There's a couple of things that I do want to mention before I get into that stuff. Again, yet another sad note in wrestling. Blackjack Lanza passed away this week. Probably most famous as a member of the Blackjacks tag team with Blackjack Mulligan, managed by Bobby Heenan. Also was a longtime booker, road agent, producer, whatever you want to call it, for WWE, WWF for many, many years. Was the top agent for WWE. So, Blackjack Lanza passed away this week. And also, Jeff Hardy has been released from the WWE. Apparently, something happened at a house show, and he was sent home from the tour, and he was released. So, now the story going around, don't know if it's 100% true, was that basically he had a relapse of his addiction issues. WWE offered to send him to rehab, and he refused, and they released him. So, like I said, that's the rumor that's going around. Don't know exactly how much truth is in it. I'm sure more stuff will come out, but that's the story at the moment, so take it with a grain of salt. But, excuse me, so... yeah, right now, we're going to get into my interview with, like I said, the Warrior Wrestling CEO, Mr. Steve Tortorello, breaking down the card for Warrior Wrestling 17. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Catch, Hook, and Shoot. This is Tom. I am your host, and sitting with me today is the owner, operator, founder, CEO of Warrior Wrestling, Steve Tortorello. How you doing, Steve?
I'm great, my friend. How are you?
Doing good. Holidays coming up. Things are crazy, but, good crazy for the most part.
Yeah, I would say the same. Good crazy is a good place to be.
Yeah. So, Warrior 17 coming up on Sunday. And, it's going to be, this is going to drop on Friday. Once this drops, it'll be in 2 days. And I swear, I don't know how you do this every time, but you seem to outdo yourself. I mean, this may be the most stacked card you guys have ever had.
We used the phrase a minute ago, good crazy. I think this show is good crazy. It's one of those things where you've got a lot of different ideas and a lot of different puzzle pieces, and you play with how they all come together in the right way. And we had a lot of these talents lined up for a while, and it was just a matter of sitting back and looking at it and seeing, how does this all fit in the right way? And I really think if you're a fan of in-ring action, this show might be the top show we've ever done. I mean, the main event alone is going to be mind-blowing.
Yeah, and I can pick out at least two other matches that have the potential to just steal the whole show. But we'll get to those. But first and foremost, you guys are actually in a new venue this time. How did that come about? I know there's something going on at the high school this time, right?
Yeah, very simple logistics. So on Sunday, we have an all-day cheerleading tournament at the high school. And that is one of the nature of the beasts, as far as when you primarily run at a high school, you're at the mercy of what's going on at the high school. And frankly, this was the date that a lot of the big talent could do. And it didn't work at school. So we had to take a look around, where can we move this thing to? And we looked at venues in downtown. We looked at some other suburbs. And ultimately, we just kept coming back to the Tinley Park Convention Center. It's about 15 minutes away from Marion. It's really conveniently located at the corner of Harlem Avenue and I-80, right by I-57. So you can get there from anywhere. It's right off the highway. Tons of hotels, tons of restaurants, and a really nice facility too. So we did a whole comparison of different venues and things, and this was the one that rose up as not too far away from where we normally are and convenient for everybody to get to.
Awesome. Yeah, it'll be interesting change of scenery for everybody. And yeah, while we're talking about the venue, I'm just going to get this out of the way. Okay, we'll address the clown in the room, as it were. Okay, Frank is banned again.
Yes. Well, so he's never been banned. He was originally booked in June, and then we unbooked him, and then he decided to show up. This time he is banned, as in it is in our contract with the Tinley Park Convention Center that Frank the Clown, Frank Mustari, his given name, is not allowed on the premises. He is persona non grata. They have his picture. They have his name. He is not allowed to interfere in any way or even be present at this show.
Okay, because I was gonna ask you, you do remember the whole helicopter in the end zone thing. I know we're indoors this time. That's not a possibility. I hope, but
well, not only is it not a possibility, but it is a private venue that has got 4 walls around it and security and people at the doors. So we should not have our proceedings interrupted by any clown nuisances this time around.
Okay, good. I hope that one, works out, because he always seems to have a way of popping up one way or another.
He does. He's kind of like, the cliche is a bad penny. I would say he's kind of like a zit, or he's kind of like, a cold or a cough you can't get rid of. He always comes back, and God damn it, are you upset when he does?
Yeah, pretty much. So, well, hopefully Val Capone's running around somewhere, and if he does decide to show up, she'll take care of him.
We'll put Val on clown duty.
There we go. But so let's get into this card here, because like I said, this is probably the most stacked Warrior card that I've seen. Starting off with what should be a great women's match, Chelsea Green making her return to Warrior against Sky Blue, who we've seen on AEW and all that kind of stuff. So
yeah, and I think you'll see a lot more of her. I think she'll be used quite a bit more on AEW going forward. She is really impressive. We've had our eye on her for a couple of years now. She's been local to the Chicago scene. And in the last 6 months, she has really put the whole package together, from ring presence to crispness of her work, to her speed, to her accuracy. She is really a competitor to be not to be trifled with. And Chelsea is a big homecoming, a big return. Chelsea was on Warrior 1 and 2 and befriended everybody on the Warrior team and really won everybody over. Truly one of the greatest people in the world to work with. And we're really excited to have her back. She is just one of a kind. And I think in the ring, it's going to be a really interesting mix of styles and personalities. And both of them are great additions to the roster.
Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to that. This will actually be my first time seeing Chelsea Green live, I believe. So that'll definitely be a treat for me. And then next up, I guess what you would call just a straight up hoss fight, or this is definitely a heavyweight battle. Brody King and Sam Adonis. That
is the exact phrase that Eric and I used as we laid it out. These are 2 strong dudes, big dudes, who can also move. And we're really excited about what this is going to look like.
Yeah, when I saw the announcement for that one, I was like, oh man, that there's going to be some black eyes after this one.
That's exactly, we're on the same wavelength. Eric and I said, somebody's going to forearm somebody else and break a jaw in this match. This match is going to slap.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Brody King, anybody who's seen him in Ring of Honor knows what he can do. And Sam Adonis, of course, well-versed in many styles, but specifically the Japanese strong style. So yeah, this is just going to be a fight.
Yeah. It really is going to be, when we lay out our matches, we kind of have different ways to describe them. This one, hoss fight, was on our descriptor. Slobber knocker was on our descriptor. This is going to be a big meat match.
Yeah, that's another one. I always say I'm really looking forward to that. I'm really looking forward to all of these. I've never seen a bad match on a Warrior card ever. So, but yeah, Sam Adonis. I think I've mentioned this before. He's one that definitely could make a claim to the title of Mr. Warrior Wrestling, because he's always there.
And he has, and some people have given him that title as well. I think the clown we mentioned earlier would bristle at that, as he's deemed himself Mr. Warrior Wrestling. But
Yeah.
Sam is really the heart and soul of a lot of what we do at Warrior Wrestling. You know, I'm trying to think of a good analogy for that. He's kind of the Anthony Rizzo of Warrior Wrestling, if you will. He's he really is. He represents the hustle and the hard work and the great performing, and as well as great competing that we're seeking. So it's always great to watch him compete. He goes all out at Warrior.
Yeah, definitely. And then next up we've got another a lucha match here. Fuego del Sol against Carlos Romo. Now, I've seen Carlos Romo at Warrior before, and he impressed the hell out of me the first time I saw him. And Fuego del Sol, we see him on AEW pretty much every week. So this is going to be, you know, if the last one we were talking about is just going to be a straight up fight, this one is going to be all finesse.
Yes. And that's the impressive thing about Romo, is he is just so, you know, finesse is a great word. He is so graceful. He's so quick. He's so talented. We first saw him at Warrior 3 when he and A-Kid took on the Lucha Brothers. We saw him again at Warrior 7 when he faced Ace Austin and Blake Christian. He's just incredibly talented. And of course, Fuego, not only is he talented in the ring, the master of the Tornado DDT, but he's also just such a great personality that people root for and have grown to love over the year of AEW Dark and his getting the AEW contract, etc. Fuego is actually slated to be on our show in October, but he couldn't do it because he got hired full-time to AEW and they had Dynamite that night.
Oh, nice.
So we were happy to have released him from his commitment that night for Dynamite, and now we're happy to have him at our next show. Yeah,
that one's just going to be, I don't know any other word to use, just finesse, and just that's going to be an awesome match. And then, this next one, I would call this an interesting matchup: Rocky Romero and Casey Navarro.
Yes, this is going to be a sleeper possibility to steal the show.
Yeah.
People who know New Japan and Ring of Honor know Rocky's work. People who have been at our shows, the last 4 of them, know Casey Navarro's work against Cole Radrick, against Dante Martin in the GMSI, against Alex Shelley. This is going to be the thinking wrestling fans wrestling match. This is going to be the technical match. This is going to be the match that impresses you with its speed and its crispness and its mat wrestling. This is going to be unlike anything else on the show, and we're really excited for it.
Yeah, just pretty much like you said, just a great all-around wrestling match, because both of these guys can do so many different things in the ring.
Yeah, they really can. You know, and Rocky showed that off against Bryan Danielson a couple of weeks ago on Dynamite, and actually conveniently he's on Dynamite this week, teaming up with Chuck Taylor against the Young Bucks. So we're going to see him again. By the time this airs, it will already have happened. So I'm sure it was awesome. So we're excited to have Rocky back. Excited for him facing KC. We think it's a really good combination. We believe styles make fights, styles make matches, and that these two, their styles will really complement one another quite well.
Yeah, absolutely. And talking about styles, this next one, this is going to be all about style for the Lucha Championship. Aramis defending against Flamita.
Yes. So Flamita, for those who are not familiar, big star in Mexico. He's wrestled PWG for many years. He's been Ring of Honor the last few years. He and Bandito were the Mexa-Bloods as a tag team for a long time, and they just have done incredible things. And Flamita has turned into demonic Flamita over the course of the last 6 months or so in Ring of Honor. So we'll see which side of himself he brings to Warrior this weekend. But he's a great challenger for Aramis. I think they're both going to be impressive in this outing. And I think people will be very happy with this match.
Yeah, definitely. And that's a question I was going to ask. Are we going to see Flamita or are we going to see demonic Flamita?
We don't know. We booked Flamita, but I don't know which side of him shows up.
Well, either one that shows up, this match is going to be tough to keep up with. You know, I always say the Lucha matches are tough on commentary, which they are, but this one is probably going to go over and above all the other ones that I've seen so far. Yeah,
I really think and that's the other thing too, is they keep raising the bar, right? So the last Lucha match was the triple threat. And we've tried, very purposefully to present Aramis with different challengers. His first challenger after winning the War of Attrition was his mentor, Daga, who's more of a lucha strong style wrestler. He's kicks, he's chops, he's strikes. And then it was Mr. Iguana, who is more of a character, but a great technical wrestler and very quick. And then it was Rey Horus and Gringo Loco. Gringo with power and speed, and Horace with incredible technical wrestling. And so now it's Flamita, and if it's demonic Flamita, it's a Flamita with a mean streak. So our hope is that as long as Aramis holds this title, and it might end this weekend, and if Flamita wins this weekend, we'll do the same thing for him, presenting him with different flavors of lucha challengers, so that what our fans see is all of the different aspects and flavors of lucha libre.
Yeah, and I gotta say, you guys have done a great job with that so far. And Aramis, again, the first place I ever saw him was at Warrior, and I instantly became a fan of his. And now he's it was MLW he's made some appearances for, correct?
Yep, he and Arez, who we had back in June, have had some great matches in MLW. I think the cream rises to the top, and it's clear that he's great. He truly is.
Yeah, absolutely. And now this next one, when I saw the announcement for this, my jaw hit the floor, because like, my God, how am I going to call this match? Dante Martin and Bandito. How? Why? I just, damn.
Well, I'll tell you why. Why? Because we're crazy wrestling fans, and we want to see this match. I mean, at the end of the day, yes, we're promoters and bookers, but we're fans. And you know what? We want to see this match. First time ever. Anybody who's been watching AEW knows what Dante Martin is capable of. Anyone who saw the original All In or who followed Ring of Honor knows what Bandito can do. He had a great match with us against Brian Cage back at Warrior 3. This is going to be two of the hot young stars in wrestling locking up for the first time ever. And each of them, the sky is the limit. They have no ceiling, literally and figuratively. Literally, they can fly out of the ring, but figuratively, their charisma, their athleticism, their wrestling acumen is so far beyond their years. And when you think about the trajectory, Dante Martin's 21. Think about the next 14 years of Dante Martin getting better. Bandito, I think, is 24, 25 now. Think about the next 14 years of Bandito getting better. This is like a young Tom Brady and a young Peyton Manning. I mean, this is really two future all-time greats competing in their athletic prime. This is going to be nuts.
Yeah, this match is going to be insane. And like you were just saying, Bandito, the first time I saw him was at All In, and he instantly made me think of Hayabusa. Just his look, his style. And Hayabusa is like my all-time favorite masked high-flying wrestler. Like, I shed literal tears when he passed away. So, and like I said, Bandito, that was the first thought that popped into my head. Like, oh my God, he reminds me of Hayabusa. I love this guy.
Yeah, I think that he is the look. Only he and Hayabusa have that same structure of mask, and he also has the same build, and he has the same hops. He really is. I had never thought about that until right now when you said that. He is the Mexican reincarnation of Hayabusa. Yeah,
and then like you said, Dante Martin. I mean, that some of the stuff he can do just defies all logic, and that he can pull it off and not and make it look easy. That's the thing with him. It just looks effortless on his part.
Well, the secret to Dante Martin, this isn't a secret because people know it if they dig into his bio, is he was a high-level state competitor high school diver. And that is where his body control comes from. And that is where his leaps come from. So when you watch Dante Martin leap off the top rope and hit a move that you like, how does he gracefully glide through the air? He was a diver, and he was a damn good diver. And he took all of those aerial skills and applied them to wrestling.
Yeah, that's just insane. Now I gotta wonder, the last few weeks on AEW TV, we've seen a little bit of a change in Dante Martin joining up with Team Taz. I'm wondering if that's going to have any bearing on this match at all.
I hope not. I hope there isn't any mean streak or anything that we see coming there. And I also have an inclination that I don't think that's going to last. That I think Dante is just too sweet of a kid to stay in a pack of dogs like Team Taz. We'll see what happens.
I'm wondering what's going to happen when his brother Darius comes back from his injury. How long the Team Taz thing is going to last?
Yeah, we'll see. And that's my hope too. Is that all of this is maybe leading to a reuniting with Darius, but we'll see.
And let's see. So next up, another title match for the Warrior Women's Championship. And this is actually my early pick for match of the night is Thunder Rosa defending against Mercedes Martinez.
Yeah, this is going to be a little bit of everything. I was about to say a slobber knocker on the women's side of the tally. Mercedes and Thunder Rosa can wrestle. They can also fight.
Yeah.
And this is going to be two badass women. This is going to be like a UFC fight, I think. It's going to be two badass chicks fighting for a title. And neither one of them have any quit in them. And they are both fan favorites. And they're both fan favorites with a mean streak. So I think it's going to be very different than Chelsea versus Sky, and very different than a lot of the women's title matches we've seen under the reign of Kylie or even under the reign of Tessa Blanchard.
Yeah, and like you said, both of these women can fight. I mean, look back at the match between Thunder Rosa and Britt Baker on Dynamite. The what was it? The street fight that they had, just amazing.
Yeah, well, and that shows you how tough she is.
Yeah,
and so she's got that element too. So Thunder Rosa is the total package. And the people that followed Mercedes Martinez's career know that she's the total package as well. And so this is truly a main event caliber match. This is a big fight feel. Yeah. And that's really what we're excited to see this Sunday.
Yeah, like I said, when I saw that one announced, that was my first thought, like that could be the match of the night right there.
Yeah.
Like without question. But then you look at the main event. And you talk about mind-blowing just speed and flying and just straight wrestling. I mean, Trey Miguel, Warrior champion, defending against not only Blake Christian, who I'm very excited to see back at Warrior, but also Will Ospreay. You just had to, turn the volume on this one up to 18, didn't you?
Yeah, at the end of the day, our team is fans of all of these guys. And Trey, this is pulling the curtain back, but also not so much either, but Trey wants the best. Trey wants us to throw the absolute best wrestlers in the world his way. And why not two of them at once? 2 years ago, and I've told this story before, the Rascals faced Will Ospreay, Amazing Red, and Rocky Romero, Chaos, in what was voted as the #1 match in Warrior wrestling history, the main event of Warrior 7. Mm-hmm. Literally almost 2 years to the day. That was, I believe, December 13th. This will be December 12th. And part of that match was each of the Rascals tagging in and facing off against Romero, then against Red, and then Will Ospreay. And Will tagged in and Trey tagged in. And they had an interchange that was just lightning quick and so amazing. And they stopped for a moment in a pose. And Trey had his Rascals pose and Will had his pose. And they just stared one at the other. And they got a standing ovation from the crowd. And that moment was two of the absolute best in the world doing their thing against each other. Mm-hmm. And later on that night, Trey posted a video, I think it might have been a Wrestling with Unicorns video, of that exchange. And he tweeted, I just spent, X amount of minutes going toe to toe with the best in the world. And I held my own. And that stayed as Trey's pinned tweet for nearly a year. That moment when Trey knew he could stand toe to toe with Will Ospreay, who I believe was the best wrestler in the world in 2019. That meant a lot for Trey. And now Will is coming back. And he's the undefeated, self-proclaimed still IWGP World Champion. And he's coming for Trey's title. And on top of that, Blake Christian, whom Trey had faced in a dream match at Friday Night Lights in a 6-man at Warrior, is coming back as well. And Blake and Will have been trying to fight each other for years. They were supposed to have a triple threat at Joey Janela's spring break last year, and it got canceled for COVID. So now all of these moving pieces, Trey and Blake, Trey and Will and Blake, Will and Trey, come together in one match. And not only is the match going to be amazing, one of these guys has to win. One of these guys has to get pinned or submitted. And so this is going to be, I think, a very special moment for Warrior Wrestling.
Absolutely. I mean, like I said, I'm excited to see Blake Christian come back. Obviously, he was, with WWE for a little bit, and now he's a free agent again back on the independents. So, and he's another one. First place I ever saw him was at Warrior, and I'm like, this guy is a star. He, you know, he needs to be on TV somewhere. So, and to see him in there, I mean, just Blake and Trey would be a ridiculous match.
Yes.
And then you add Will Ospreay into the mix, like you said, arguably the best in the world. This match is going to just be completely over the top.
Yeah, it really will be a special title match for us.
Yeah, absolutely. And so yeah, that pretty much runs down the whole card. And of course, you guys are having the Fan Fest like always.
Yeah, so to meet Will Ospreay and Thunder Rosa and Fuego del Sol and everybody, it's $100 ticket, which sounds like a lot initially. And so you look at the number of stars you get to meet, it's about $6 per star to meet and get a picture and autograph with every star for an average of $6 per star. On top of that, there will be podcasts, there will be vendors, including Top Rope Baking is back. There will be some contests and giveaways. It's a really cool time to get to see the stars and get to make something special of the day. So we highly recommend people do that. For us, that's where a lot of the magic is. Yeah, the show is great, but the festival beforehand is really the kind of the fun of it. It's the party.
Oh yeah, I mean, I don't know if you can see the pictures scrolling behind me here, but most of those are from the Warrior Fan Fest, either me or Charlie with, all the wrestlers. I mean, God, the last one I got Bret Hart to autograph my Winged Eagle belt. I was going crazy. Yeah.
It's just a really cool time to hang around. And it's funny because we have so many people who have met other fans there. And now they're like a group, now they see each other and I see this person at a Warrior show. So it's a really fun time. So please, if you're listening and watching, come on out to the show, but don't ignore the Fan Fest. Come out and enjoy that as well.
Yeah, and I gotta ask, just selfishly, being the belt nerd that I am, is Ospreay gonna have the IWGP title with him?
I don't know. I could shoot him in a message and see if it's coming with, because he is coming from England. So he's gonna have some heavy bags if he brings the Rev Pro title and the IWGP title. But I will ask him. I will send him a message when we get off in a moment.
Okay, cool. Yeah, because I'd love to get a picture with that belt. I know there was a lot of controversy when New Japan changed up the belt, but I think that belt is gorgeous. So
I love it too. I don't think they've ever really done a bad job. I think all the versions of the IWGP titles have been great, including this one.
Mm-hmm. And of course, the Warrior titles, though, are still some of my favorites just because of how unique they are. Of course, I got mine up there on the door. If I can point the right way, there you go.
Yep. Oh, I see it. Yeah. No, when we designed the belts, our goal was we wanted something where if you saw it in a picture, you knew it was the Warrior title. There are so many independent wrestling titles that look the same, and we wanted ours to look unique. Some people hate it. Most people love it. But it's different. It's ours. And that's what we wanted for our titles.
Yeah, I've actually seen like knockoffs of the Warrior title on sale, like for sale on eBay and stuff. So that
I think from Pakistan.
Yeah, I think that's how you've made it as far as belts go. If they're selling knockoffs of it, you've got a good belt.
Yeah, exactly.
So let's so run it down for us one more time. The new venue, where they can get tickets, bell time, all that kind of stuff.
You got it. The show is this Sunday, December 12th. VIP Fan Fest is 2 to 3:30. The show is 4:00. Should end around 7. It is at the Tinley Park Convention Center in Tinley Park, Illinois, on I-80 in Harlem. Tickets and all other information at warriorwrestling.net. We can follow us on socials at Warrior Wrestling, no vowels in wrestling, WRSTLNG. Warriorwrestling.net really is the hub, though. The Fan Fest is explained there. The tickets are there. The card is there. Everything else. We're looking forward to seeing a lot of people from all over Chicagoland and the whole Midwest. That's another thing that makes it such a special day when it's time for Warrior, as we get people driving in from Louisville and from Wisconsin and Michigan and Iowa and Missouri, and we're looking forward to seeing all of them again.
Yeah, Warrior has definitely become a destination type event just because of the quality of shows you guys put on. I will definitely say that, because to me it's worth it. I'd drive a few hundred miles for the show.
Yeah, and people do, and we're very appreciative of it.
And is this one now? It's on. This one's on Fight TV also, right?
Oh yeah, yep. So if you can't make it for any reason, you can watch it live on Fight TV.
And if you can't do that, of course, me and Charlie G will be there doing our usual audio broadcast on Podbean, which thank you for tolerating us as long as you have.
We love you guys.
Because it is a blast. And honestly, that show you were talking about 2 years ago with the Rascals against Osprey and Red and Ramiro, that was our first broadcast. So I guess you could say this is our 2-year anniversary with Warrior. So
Yeah.
that was I would definitely call, that being the first main event that we had to call was definitely trial by fire, but we survived, and I think we've gotten better since then. So
yeah, well, it's such a cool element that you guys add. And again, like you said, it's definitely trial by fire by starting for a show and starting with a show with that kind of crazy action. I think you are with all the matches coming up on Sunday, you are going to be facing your toughest challenge for keeping up with it. But I know you guys are up to the challenge.
Yeah, and the only thing that could have made this one harder would have, which I would have loved, honestly, would be if you had thrown Jonathan Gresham into this one somewhere, because his matches are so hard to keep up with because he is just so smooth and quick and just amazing. But I think I got my hands full with the card as it is. So. But I'm definitely looking forward to it. I know Charlie's looking forward to it. We always have a blast with you guys. And, like I said, we just appreciate everything that you do for the show just by allowing us to be there and do our thing. And it's awesome. We absolutely love every Warrior show that we go to.
We love having you guys. Tom, I'm excited. I'm getting jazzed up. I can't wait for the show.
So am I. I like I said, I could pick 2 or 3 of these matches. I could easily steal the whole show, but I'm looking at Thunder Rosa and Mercedes. That's my, like I said, my early pick for match of the night.
I think people are going to be very into that match.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, I think that's going to wrap us up for right now. I know you got stuff to do. You got a busy few days ahead of you with this show coming up. So I will let you go for right now, but always appreciate you coming on the show and running down the card with me. And I will, we'll see you on Sunday.
Good to see you, my friend. We'll see you on Sunday.
All right. Thanks a lot, Steve.
Bye.
All right, so that was my interview with Steve Tortorella. Now, one thing to note about the card, there has been a change. Brody King, unfortunately, will not be able to make it to the show, but he has been replaced in his match against Sam Adonis by Matt Taven from Ring of Honor. So, should be an outstanding match. So, keep that in mind when you're checking out this next segment, which is Charlie G with his predictions for the show. And, like I said, this was... the interview with Steve and Charlie's predictions were recorded before the announcement of Brody King having to drop out of the show. So, keep that in mind as you're checking this out. But right now, I'm going to throw it over to Charlie G, and he's here with a special edition of the Indie Cut.
Thank you, Tom, and hey to wrestling friends. I'm Charlie G with your fantastic Warrior Wrestling 17 prediction cut. I will do my predictions a little differently, as I will predict the match order as well as the winners. I have no inside information, so this is purely guessing. We begin with the Warrior Wrestling Lucha title match. Warrior Wrestling has been starting off with their shows lately with the titles, so this one started off for me with Aramis, who was champion, versus Flamita. I'm going to go with Aramis here to retain, only because I want to see him against Casey Navarro at some point down the road. Next up is Sam Adonis versus Brody King. With Sam's record at Warrior, I'm going to go with Brody for the win. Plus, I think, why bring a man to lose? Aside from Brody King to win here. Chelsea Green versus Sky Blue is next. This one should be no surprise to anyone who listens to the Indie Cut. I'm pulling for Sky Blue in this one. It should be a real cool match between the two, and maybe Chelsea can get some Orioles from me. Next up is Bandito versus Dante Martin. The winner of this is truly the fans of wrestling. These two should put on a great match, and I'm leaning towards Bandito here, even though he would just flown in from the Ring of Honor Final Battle show. I just think Bandito would be cool. Either one wins, we all win, but I think Bandito wins here. Now, why I put these matches early is because Aramis, Flamita, Sam Adonis, and Bandito have to get to Gali Lucha, which is 50 minutes away, and their show starts at 5:30. Warrior Wrestling starts at 4, so I'm picking those early just because of that. And Sky Blue I put there because she does do Gali Lucha shows as well. So if she does get on the card, she's all ready for it. Next up, we have Carlos Romo versus Fuego del Sol. I know Fuego is a crowd favorite, but I'm going with the returning Carlos Romo. Plus, he was also the first wrestler I ever talked to at Warrior or anywhere, to be honest. So I always remember that, and I'm going to pull for him. I'll hope he gets the win. Next up, we have the Warrior Wrestling Women's Title match with champion Thunder Rosa versus Mercedes Martinez. I have to go with Thunder Rosa here. She just won it. This is her second defense. The first at Warrior. The other was at her Mission Pro event. Mercedes is a great indie performer and back in the business. Back on the indies, I should say. It should be a great match, but Thunder Rosa to win here. Next up is Rocky Romero versus Casey Navarro. This match is a toss-up because you have a great ring veteran in Rocky and a great up-and-comer in KC. But I have to pick one, so I'm going to go with Casey and a minor upset win, I guess. They're both cool, but I think KC pulls out the win here. Finally, we have the Warrior Wrestling title three-way match with champion Trey Miguel versus Will Ospreay and Blake Christian. In a match of the year candidate, I'm predicting that now. I'm pretty sure they won't disappoint. As cool as it be to see Will win and show off the title at Wrestle Kingdom, you can't go with him because of travel restrictions, probably. Trey has been a great champion and always be cool with us. But I'm going with returning Blake Christian and have him prove all the doubters wrong with him being a champion. Plus, he was actually, him and Carlos, along with Rocky and Will, have been at Warrior 7, which is our first show. So it would be kind of cool to see those guys win here at Wrestling 17. There you have it. I'm probably half wrong with my predictions. Tune in Sunday on Podbean and tell me how I'm doing. You want to. That's a wrap for me. See you at Warrior Wrestling 17. I can't wait. I know you can't either. Take care, keep safe, and be kind to everyone. Back to you, Tom.
All right, so that's going to wrap up this special edition of Catch, Hook, and Shoot, all about Warrior Wrestling 17. Make sure to check it out. It is this Sunday. Get your tickets at warriorwrestling.net. Watch it on Fight TV, or listen to me and Charlie G on the call on the Podbean app. You can find the link to the live show on any of our socials. But one way or the other, make sure you check this show out. You don't want to miss it. Warrior Wrestling always delivers. My opinion, the best independent wrestling company out there. So like I said, one way or another, make sure you check out this show. And so that's going to wrap us up. Hope everybody has a great week. Enjoy all the great wrestling coming up this week, and I will talk to you guys soon.